Alright, Blazionaires and Blazionettes, I finally seen the movie, and before I continue this review any further, there's gonna be some spoiler mentions in this review, so it's gonna be a spoiler video. So that is your warning if you have not seen the movie, so I don't suggest you watch this video, but hey, there you go. So we pick up from like where we're following Nika, and she's in a loony bin, and basically, Chucky is, coming after her, and at the same time, Andy was, brought, he returned to the franchise, and then if you've seen that ending to Curse of Chucky, like where Chucky was delivered to his house, and then Andy, from it looks like, killed him. But basically, he just holds his severed head there and is basically torturing him. And then while that is happening, Nika is, like I said, in the loony bin, and there's a Chucky doll there too, and it turns out that doll is alive as well. Like, wait a minute, how is Chucky there? I mean, he's with Andy right now. Like, so what's going on? So supposedly, they kind of gave a hint, like you kind of seen this in the trailers, that there is more than one Chucky doll alive. And basically, what Chucky did is he came up with a new voodoo chant where he can basically, I guess, replicate his soul and put it into another doll, and then into another doll, and then none of that. So basically, it's like Chucky now can be anywhere and anyone. And it's getting to that point where you would be ready for him to transfer his soul inside of a human host, which is something he has failed to do for the past 6 movies. So, like, you're thinking, okay, this may actually work this time, because there's this other character who has multiple personalities, and then where he's going to chase another patient who's a grieving mother who keeps carrying around a Chucky doll, and she goes to an open grave. She's standing there, and then he runs out after her, and then she throws the Chucky doll in there, and then she pushes his name is Malcolm. He pushes Malcolm into the open grave as well. So that's where you're thinking, did Chucky transfer his soul inside Malcolm? Like, you're thinking that for a moment, because when he gets out of the grave, he's looking at Nika all weird, like he knows, like, yeah, I took over his body. So, where he's basically fucking with her at this point, even though he could have killed her at any time, but he's basically chipping away what's left of her sanity. And and then you're thinking to yourself, like, is this whole staff either taken over by Chucky, or are they all just stupid? Like the psychiatrist, he's just a little, he's demented. He is demented. And also, like, and you would think that Andy would play a bigger part in this movie, and that him and Nika will potentially get together and work together against Chucky, but no. When he finally gets there, it just all goes south after that. And then Tiffany, is back. And also, it's funny, like, how they have a very weird relationship, because they go from working together to try and kill each other, from working together to trying to kill each other. So I'm guessing, like, well, I'll get to that later. But yeah, so what I was thinking as this movie went along, that Nika would basically go crazy to the point where she would go psycho on her own. But basically, Chucky was basically, like, when it got to that moment, like, he took over her body, and somehow, now she's able to walk. I mean, like, how is that possible? I mean, I know it's voodoo and stuff, but I figured she would not have the ability to walk. And in the previous movies, like when it came to that other, I guess the other chant that he's been using for, like, through the other movies, I'm guessing that chant would supposedly switch souls from out of the original bodies into the new bodies. You know what I mean? But I guess with this one, he just takes over that body, and the original, I guess the original host of the body is still trapped in there with with the person who took over, and basically they're trapped in there, imprisoned, and while basically the person who took over the body has their hands on the steering wheel the entire time that they're that they're where I'm going with this, like where they take over the body. So that's what I'm guessing this new thing that Chucky is doing. I'm guessing that's what the results are. But I mean, I know it's a different route. Like we've gone through like 6 movies where he tries to put his soul into another body and he doesn't, and he fails miserably. And that chant only worked very few times. When he transferred his own soul into the doll, transferred Tiffany's soul into her doll, and and when Tiffany brings him back to life, but when it comes to him getting himself out of the doll's body, doesn't work. But here, I guess this is a better solution. So it's like finally we get to see, him finally accomplish his goal in a way. But at the same time, a lot of people may think, I don't like this idea. I mean, because I want to see Chucky. I don't want to see someone else, be Chucky or whatever. But you gotta admit, you have some curiosity of how it would be if Chucky actually did manage to get outside the doll and go inside a human host. So now that we have that, and then Nika is now imprisoned because Chucky took over her body, and I guess when Chucky confronts Andy in Nika's body, he said, "If you kill me, you kill her." So that basically hints that Nika is still there, and she still has a fighting chance. But Andy is locked into the loony bin. He admitted himself, so there's no way for him to get out. And now Chucky / Nika and Tiffany drive off together, and Tiffany obviously replicated herself. I mean, like where she put her soul into the Tiffany doll, and she's back there, and they're all laughing together, and they drive off to do God knows what, and how many other bodies are they going to take over. But like if you watch the unrated version, there's an end credit scene, and then the severed head of Chucky that's at Andy's cabin. So Kyle, Andy's foster sister, gets there to basically torturing the poor severed head Chucky. So she's gonna be in the next movie. I mean, like that's basically how it's gonna be. It's like these end credit scenes, it's like these movies end with a cliffhanger, and then there's the end credit scene where it does not turn out well for Chucky at all. So yeah, so Kyle will be there. I guess her and Andy will team up against Chucky and Tiffany and try to save Nika. That's what I'm guessing. But, I mean, I don't know how to feel about this movie. I mean, definitely not the best, but Seed of Chucky is still the worst movie in the franchise, in my opinion. So with that all being said, this movie gets 2.5 chair spins out of 5. So here we go. 1, 2.5 chair spins. But, I don't regret seeing the movie. I mean, I'm glad I finally watched it, and a part of me is like, yeah, I mean, like, this is different. We get to finally see Chucky manage to get outside the doll, like how he's been trying to do, but he's doing something entirely different, like where he can be anywhere and anyone. So that's a cool concept, but even though this movie was not that great. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see where that goes in the next installment. So, and I kind of liked it more than Curse of Chucky. I mean, this is a different route, but if you don't like it, I can totally understand. I totally understand. This is not one of the best movies, but yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, my expectations were not that high, so maybe that's why it didn't bother me that much. But it is what it is. So if you guys enjoyed my review on this movie, make sure you thumb up the video, click subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for watching, and feel free to share your thoughts on it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.